Brethren, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to a brand new video as Arsenal start their preseason in style. 5-1 was the final score, but a couple of very, very interesting things in there that I want us to talk about on this channel, on this video, because that is what we do. We react to Arsenal games, we react to Arsenal performances, and we pick out the best moments and we have a conversation about them. Now, we've beaten them 5-1, but I think the key moments in that game were Nketiah's hat-trick. I think that was really, really special. And also the fact that Thomas Partey is back and he played once again in that single pivot. But can I tell you something? What really intrigued me is Albert Sambi Lokonga's new position and new role. Arsenal fans really around the world feeling that he's not good enough. I think yesterday it was all about trying to show us this is what I can do. This is where I want to play. And I think all that in this video we will talk about it. Hit the like button for me. Let's get this video to 800 likes. Subscribe to the podcast. Very close to 51,000 subscribers. You cannot believe that. Now, these are the teams and how they started yesterday for Arsenal as we were beating IPSWICH in the first half. Actually, we used two completely very different teams in the first half and also in the second half. In the first half, Balogun was in goal. Bellerin, Ben White, Pablo Mari, Cedric, Partey, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Sambi Lokonga, Pepe, Nketiah, and Reece Nelson. Now, you can see that the team lacked some kind of creativity in the midfield yesterday, but of course, we scored 4 goals in the first half. In the second half, it was a complete team overall from Mikel Arteta. Arthur Okonkwo started for us in goal. Walters, Kirk, Sosa, Smith, I think that is Olad Manhunt, Patino, Hutchinson, Balogun, and Marcelo Flores. And then from the bench, Henry Francis, and of course Ogungbo from the bench. So 2 completely very, very different teams. Like I said, in the first half and also in the second half. But if we look at the 5 things that I think made the highlights in that game, number 1, Thomas Partey is fully back and fully fit. I do not remember when Arsenal fans last saw Thomas Partey back playing for Arsenal, but yesterday, he came back, and played only 45 minutes. He's fully fit, again, playing in that single pivot role that I think we're going to see much of him in the coming campaign alongside Martin Odegaard and Fabio Vieira. So Thomas Partey is fully back and fully fit, as reported by Charles Watts a couple of days ago. Yesterday, he played in that midfield for Arsenal. I think we're going to be 100% sure now that he will start the season unless he picks up a very, very nasty injury. And I think it's going to be, again, a very important part of what Mikel Arteta is trying to do, especially come into the next season when it is now sure we will be playing, at least in many of the games, we'll be playing with a 4-3-3. So Partey is back, fully fit. No more questions about when is he coming back, when is he going to regain fitness. He's 100% back. Now, the other thing that I noticed in this game was Albert Sambi Lokonga's position. Yesterday, like I said, Partey played in a single pivot, and that allowed Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Albert Sambi Lokonga to pick up positions a little bit further high up the pitch. Now, you're going to say, and I know many of you believe Albert Sambi Lokonga is a defensive midfielder, and probably he is because of his midfield versatility. You can play him as part of the midfield 3. You can play him as part of the pivot. And Mikel Arteta's time in, time out try to play him in that single pivot, which I don't think actually suits him very, very well. So yesterday he played alongside Ainsley Maitland-Niles as the 2 midfielders ahead of Thomas Partey, and he scored a goal and also assisted Nketiah. So look, I'm not really trying to say that he should be really used as a number 10. I don't think he does that, but I think his favorite position is known as a single pivot. His favorite position is not when you ask him to give you all that defensive cover. he's a very, very good player on the ball. So he would be better if you played him alongside a defensive midfielder. If you played him just like a number 8, I think he does that very, very well. Very, very clever player on the ball. He loves to go forward, have a go, get into the penalty area. Yesterday, I looked at him, especially if you watch those highlights on the Arsenal YouTube channel. You'll try to see that he was trying to get into those pockets of space, but also trying to carry himself into the penalty area, and that is how he assisted Nketiah and also got himself a goal. So probably Lokonga's favorite position is not when we use him as a defensive midfielder, but when we use him in those pockets of space ahead of a defensive midfielder. Probably in a 4-2-3-1 system, you play him alongside Thomas Partey. Or if you want to play him in a 4-3-3 or in a single pivot, then you play him ahead, of the single pivot. He's really struggled when we played him as a single pivot. So I don't think that is his favorite position. I don't think he wants to play there. But yesterday, again, like I said, it was only Ipswich, but I think I was really impressed. Number 3, Nketiah again scored another hat-trick. Look, I think he's one of those players that Mikel Arteta is going to have in his squad that are ready to take every chance there is, in throughout the 90 minutes. He scored a hat-trick within 45 minutes. It was really, really an easy hat-trick, but I think again we saw that kind of poacher instinct in Nketiah, and probably the reason as to why Mikel Arteta decided to keep him. The 2 of the goals he scored, really absolutely number 9 goals. Be in that penalty area, kind of wait until when the chance drops, and then you will take your chance. So Nketiah scoring another hat-trick. I'm still not yet trusting him 100% to be that kind of backup striker, backup player to Gabriel Jesus. But you never know, right? You never know. Scored another hat-trick yesterday. So let's wait and see. He put on the shirt number 14 for Chelsea, Daniel Henry. So let's hope he's gonna score goals this season. And I also thought it could be his time to explode this season, because look, there is a lot of talk around him. He's just signed a new contract. Maybe this is his time to and chance to prove to Arsenal fans, look, this is what I'm all about. All I wanted for was game time and to get these shadows of Aubameyang and Alexander Lacazette away from me. Now, it's going to be very difficult, in my opinion, because it's one where now he's been thrown into the limelight. It's either Nketiah or no one else. So right now, it's always going to be Nketiah for Arsenal, and he's already started doing that by scoring a hat-trick against Ipswich. I hope he can continue on that beautiful run. Number 4, I think Mikel Arteta is getting closer and closer to the 4-3-3 experiment. Yesterday, like I said, he played a 4-3-3, a single pivot where Partey was shielding Ainsley Maitland-Niles and was shielding and supporting Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Sambi Lokonga. But of course, we know ahead of Thomas Partey in those 2 positions, it should be Martin Odegaard and Fabio Vieira or Yuri Tielemans. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what Mikel Arteta does with those 3 next campaign. He said he doesn't have the minerals to play the 4-3-3. Now I think he's got them, with Fabio Vieira and Martin Odegaard able to progress the ball very, very well, and also to create lots and lots of chances in that midfield, and also just be able to be comfortable on the ball and retain possession for a long period of time. I think it's gonna be either a 4-3-3 for me or a 4-1-4-1 system. I don't see him change that unless he wants to incorporate Nketiah into the team alongside Gabriel Jesus, and then he plays a 4-4-2, which I do not see happening anytime soon. So a 4-1-4-1, a 4-3-3 next campaign for Arsenal, in my opinion, is very, very likely. Number 5, I think Balogun should be staying at Arsenal. Scored a beautiful goal yesterday, very, very beautiful goal. And why I think he should be staying at Arsenal for me is I think he should be taking up that Eddie Nketiah role around the team. He should be, it should become the backup striker. I don't think Eddie is going to be a backup striker now. I think Eddie is now going to be part of the starting 11. He might not start as many games as 30, as 28, but he's going to be part of the starting 11. So Balogun then should take up that role that Eddie has been doing and providing with Arsenal, just making sure that there is an extra striker. So if Arsenal do not get in a striker, then Balogun should be staying. I think he's really mature enough. When I look at his movement, when I looked at his positioning and ability to finish, I think we could have ourselves a very, very good backup player, a backup striker in Florian Balogun. So those are the 5 things I saw in that game. Arsenal 5, Ipswich 1.